Quick note, starting this video, I was not able to get Katana to work, and so I am using this on my phone. Tried Katana on multiple computers and multiple browsers and could not get it to download. So here I am, and I'll upload this video and maybe try and post a link somewhere as well. And with that, I will go into my presentation to the client. Hi Jake, hope you're doing well today. Just wanted to send a quick video giving you some information about the assessments that we went over. If you remember, we talked about an assessment on depression and an assessment on anxiety. That was the Beck Depression Inventory and the GAD-7 assessment for anxiety. I'll start with the Beck Depression Inventory. Overall score on that was a 7, and your results do indicate that you have a normal level of ups and downs. So that is not indicating a high level of depression. Some of the more notable scores that you had were some concentration difficulty and tiredness and fatigue. The highest score was in agitation, that is pretty consistent with what you reported for your inventory with the anxiety. As I said, these results don't show a high level of depression, but do note that you have some amount of depression, but is consistent with being, normal ups and downs for most people. As far as the anxiety inventory goes, you scored a 7 there, and that falls under the category of mild anxiety. The most significant finding there was that you were so restless that it is hard to sit still. And that is consistent with what you were reporting when you came to our session, that being very restless and fidgety, and as well as I wanted to report during our conversation, it was notable that you had a hard time sitting still, and this was pretty apparent. Just kind of fidgety, a little bit distracted. It seemed like you were pretty focused on your phone a fair bit, but you have a bit of distraction, and you are having trouble concentrating, and it's exactly as you reported when you came to the session. And that is definitely within the range of mild anxiety. You are scoring on the GAD-7 for mild anxiety that is clinically significant. So I do suggest that you engage in counseling. Bi-weekly I think would be a good number for you. I don't know that you need to be in counseling every week, but I think every other week would be good, just to kind of keep tabs on where you're at with your anxiety and that restlessness. You spoke about the surgery you had with your shoulder, and I think that some of this may be situational based on that injury and your inability to work and the challenge of not moving a lot. And that can definitely bring up a lot of challenges because you are not in your normal operation. You're spending a lot more time, sitting at home and not moving your body, not exercising so much. So I would suggest that you try to find a way that you can exercise at least a few times a week. Obviously, you need to do that within the constraints of your medical provider's advisement. But getting some kind of physical exercise, whether that's just a walk or some movement in your day, I think could be very helpful, as well as engaging in some mindfulness activities. That could be meditation, maybe even yoga if your physical capabilities are up to par for that. And there's more that you could definitely learn in counseling. Engaging in mindfulness is very helpful for anxiety, and I think that would be helpful for you. You did report that you have had some of these symptoms previous to your surgery, and I think that it is worth keeping track of that and engaging with the counseling, and just reporting it with where you're at, and making sure that this isn't a larger problem that goes beyond the shoulder injury. And if it is, then you can work on that in counseling, and go further with that as time goes. But I think right now it might be best to focus on that injury and how that is affecting you, because it's a big change in your life, and having that change is going to affect you. And not having the mobility, not having the space for your regular activities is difficult. And I just want to acknowledge that that's very normal, and it is something that I would be surprised if you're not having a struggle with. So yeah, definitely, I want to get you on the calendar to be in for counseling twice a week, whether that be telehealth or in person. I do think that in person has its benefits. Being face to face and talking with somebody is very useful. Not that telehealth isn't good, but it's a little less personal. And I think that if you are able to come in person, that would be the best option. That gives you the ability to sit face to face with the counselor, maybe engage in some of those mindfulness activities, which I don't think are quite as effective over telehealth. So if you're able to do those appointments in person, I do think that's best. So definitely get scheduled with that, and we can help you get on the calendar. I did note that like I said, you're a bit fidgety, and your speech was a little scattered in our conversation. Kind of had a wandering attention span, and again, all these things are consistent with what you reported, and seem very normal for the situation that you're in and having a certain amount of anxiety. So I want to let you know that these are normal challenges, and you are in good hands. We want to do everything we can to get you back to a normal level of functioning, and as well as provide you care beyond the situation with your surgery. There could be more behind what's going on with you, but for right now, we'll focus on the here and now, and make sure that you're doing well. And if you get to a point where you maybe don't need the counseling anymore, then great. But if it is helpful for you, we would definitely be happy to continue that work with you in dealing with the anxiety issues you've been facing. I hope you're doing well, and I hope to hear from you soon. Thanks, Jake.